What do you think every person should experience at least once in their lifetime? Story 1. Looking at a clear sky full of stars. Done that on a beach with a clear sky on a starry night and saw 5 shooting stars in 10 minutes. I was fully amazed. Story 2. Everyone should experience the joys of traveling to a foreign land at least once in their lifetime, even if it's just to realize how much they love their own toilet. Imagine discovering new cultures, cuisines, and the thrill of trying to communicate with locals using just charades and a phrase book. Trust me, it's a life-changing experience that'll give you a new appreciation for your home and a killer accent to boot. Story 3. Being cherished, unconditional love, comfort, and security. To know that someone loves you more than anything else in life, no matter what you do, say, or screw up. To know that you have a safe, secure, physical place in the world that no one can intrude upon, to have both of these things at the same time. I have had this luxury and it lasted a long time, but not forever. As I get older, I miss this feeling more than anything else I've lost. The love can last a lifetime. The security maybe not. If you are lucky enough to have any of these things, enjoy the hell out of while you can. This is a rare opportunity, and in my case, it was life-saving. Being able to provide these things for someone else is equally as wondrous. Love and be kind to one another as often as you can. There is too little of it in this world. Story 4. My father grew up in a big city and never really spent time without light pollution. He came to visit me a few years ago on Hawaii Island, and we took him to an isolated area and he finally saw the Milky Way. At 70, it was a new experience for him, and it was so wonderful that I was able to show it to him. Story 5. Psilocybin mushrooms. Doing them in a safe, measured way, not just shoving a handful in your mouth, in a positive environment with a person you trust is truly a worldview-changing experience. Story 6. A punch in the face. Provides clarity and an abject lesson that no matter how big you think you are, you can still be taken down a notch by just about anyone. I see a lot of people out there who clearly never got theirs. Story 7. Tom Ford, fashion designer, said, "Every man should be penetrated at least once. So make of that what you will." Edit, just to add context. He said, "I think it would help men understand women ... It quote s such a vulnerable position to be in, and it's such a passive position to be in. And there's such an invasion in a way that even if it's consensual, it's just very personal. And I think there's a psyche that happens because of it that makes you understand and appreciate what women go through their whole lives, because it's not just sexual, it's a complete setup of the way the world works. That one sex has the ability to literally, and is expected to and is wanted to, but also there's an invasion, and I think that's something most men do not understand at all." Story 8. When you live with yourself, you become more self-reliant and self-aware. Also, you realize what is important in your life. I don't mean that just in the grand philosophical sense, but in the everyday sense as well. What do you like to eat for each meal? How do you like to organize your space? Story 9. Break a bone. Discover how fragile yet resilient the human body is. Do something huge physically. Run a marathon. Hike up a mountain. Ride 100 miles on a bicycle in a day, etc. Find your physical wall. You're probably capable of a lot more than you think. Go have a conversation with someone completely opposite of you. It humanizes people, and you'll probably learn just as much about yourself as you do them along the way. Get in a fist fight. See what your fight or flight really is. Everyone is tough on a keyboard. See how you feel the second after you got black eye. Story 10. A genuine, heartfelt loss. I don't mean purposely caused by someone else, but the loss of a loved pet or person. Death has a clarity to see through the complications of life, and it teaches you without obfuscation how important being present with life is. Time is limited. Story 11. My initial answer to this is requited love. BCIMO, the sweet surrendering of your true self unto another person because they cherish you is just without equal. But life and relationships are complicated. So my real answer is a well-made, big-ass breakfast burrito with hot sauce. Everybody deserves that at least once. Story 12. Living alone and also being in love. Not the, oh yeah, I love this person kind of way. Love that just looking at that person, when they're frustrated, mad, upset, looking at them just fills your heart up to the brim and then spills over. An immense, overpowering rush of emotion that comes out of nowhere, like the tide coming in. Unstoppable. A love that isn't just missing someone when they're away, not just enjoying their company. A love that you didn't choose but just enraptured you. It didn't grow, it didn't bloom, it wasn't taught. It was awakened from some part of you that you never knew existed. Story 13. Traveled to Vietnam last November. I would say the Trang boat ride in Ninh Binh. One of the most cathartic and healing experiences I had. Boat takes you under caves and it's like you are in a different world outside, too. Huge limestone hills and green water. It was drizzling when I was there and the whole feeling was light and calm. Story 14. A multi-orgasm. Not one, then another close to it, followed by another, but a simultaneous ride of that ecstasy into multiple others occurring throughout the same period of time. Compare it not to 3 or more grenades going off, doing separate points of damage, but to multiple earthquakes taking place within the core, and the resulting damage being the accumulation of all of that energy. Story 15. A total solar eclipse. I'm going to see the upcoming one. It will be my third, though the first one was when I was quite young, and it was overcast where I lived. The second was spectacular, and this one will be the last in my area in many years, possibly in my lifetime, that I will have any easy way to see. Story 16. A fun, positive, safe, non-sober experience. Sitting around a campfire with good friend enjoying a few beers. Sitting on a deck on a nice spring day with your ribs and face hurting from laughing so much because y'all got into the devil's lettuce. Past that, I don't have any experience. But, again, the fun/save/positive aspect is important. I'm not saying everybody should smoke weed. I think people should experience the best version of that with friends. Seems like a lot of people have had some negative experiences and/or just have negative opinions. Like the only drinkers they have ever been around are coked-up frat boys on spring break. Just chill. Have a seat. Here's some mead I made. Same with weed. They seem to have only experienced the peer pressure and cliché stoners. Just chill. Have a seat. Here's a piece of candy. Let's listen to the wind. Story 17. Working in retail and working in a field/orchard/farm of some sort. Everyone should work as a CSR for empathy's sake. Gives you some insight to recognize the need for patience and kindness. Everyone should work on a farm during harvest to appreciate the produce you pick up at the grocery store and just how hard someone had to work to get it there. Literally, a single day in a cucumber field would be enough. That shit is no joke. Story 18. Honestly, having sex with someone that's super attractive in all the ways you desire, but they don't care about you at all. There's no connection. You're just being used as a hookup, for money, etc. It will really put things in perspective in your love life, and that beauty truly isn't everything. Story 19. A total solar eclipse. Was up at 11,500 feet on the Continental Divide in 2017. Watched the Grand Tetons go dark and the moon's shadow race over the forests. It was the coolest experience with my children, something that photos and recordings can't capture the raw beauty of. Story 20. Working a minimum wage job, not like a job at their stepdad's car lot, pushing a broom occasionally, but we'd pay you less, but we can't legally do so minimum wage. Give up a summer while working the shitty shifts, weekends, late nights, stupid early opening shifts, etc. And at least one Christmas shopping season. They'd all have to be either customer-facing or manual labor jobs as well. No escaping by doing stock counts in the back room either. Make it so that in order to graduate high school, you'd have to do this work. I guarantee people who did that would be better, more polite, and just generally well-rounded individuals in life. Story 21. To me, children, nothing in life can compare to the love, joy, and wonder. Also, travel. Like across-the-world travel, it's been so enlightening and eye-opening for as long as I've been doing it. It's so weird now being in a regular suburb and the bubble that surrounds it. It's like a mini terrarium of people who think they are kings and queens of this area but shiver when you mention leaving it. They are racist, sheltered, and self-centered as you would imagine. Travel is soul-cleansing. Story 22, I have a few. Riding a motorcycle on a twisty road on a nice sunny warm day. I'm not saying go fast and get your knee down or give it hell for leather. Even just taking it easy and enjoying the momentum of the twists and turns with the sun beating down on you. It's absolutely cathartic. A random act of kindness towards a stranger without being prompted to do so. Just go and be kind for 10 seconds to someone. Whether that's giving a homeless person money or something they need, helping an old person with their groceries or crossing the street, or buying some water for the road workers in the heat of summer. Tons of people, me included, don't really go out of their way to do anything nice because they have their own thing going on. Most of the time, people can't afford to lose their time, because the only time they're out of the house is because they're either leaving to go to work or are on their way back to take care of their families. So just make the effort at least once going bald. Not the lowest clipper settings, but razor blade bald. Everything feels just so silky smooth. I always get the absolute best night's sleep when I properly shave my head. The pillow just feels what I can only imagine a hug from an angel feels like. Story 23. People be all like, seeing the Milky Way on a cloudless night. But for real, everyone should work a service job. You don't even have to do it very long, but working as a server, in retail, in fast food, as a janitor, whatever is something that makes you see all the people who do all the shit jobs as people who are worthy of dignity, respect, and pay. Story 24. Seeing a solar eclipse in an area of 100% totality. Last time it happened, 2017. In my area, it was like 93% totality, and I thought I'd just see it at home. But last minute I heard of a place I could go in the 100% area. We had to leave well before sunrise to fight traffic, but it was so worth it. When the sky grows dark as night and you can take your glasses off, which you cannot do unless 100%. The beauty of what you see is indescribable, and nothing like the shadowy slivers you see with glasses on. I am so glad we made the effort, and I highly recommend anyone within an easy distance of the upcoming April eclipse to go to a viewing area with 100% totality. Story 25. That one night where you went completely wild even though you hadn't drank anything nor done any weird shit, but you are just you and super confident with herself, where you are cracking such good jokes and everybody is charmed by you. Yeah, like, that moment was awesome. Story 26. A Mavis Staples concert, even if she's just opening for somebody. Sadly, she will be 85 in July, and her sets are getting shorter and shorter. Last time I saw her, it was only 4 or 5 songs in 30 minutes, but it was a triple bill. But it's still well worth it. The world would be a better place if everyone saw Mavis Staples at least once in their life. Story 27. A heartbreak. As someone said, only know you've been high when you're feeling low. It's a lot of pain, but it opened your eyes in the reality of the world. And if you use that negative energy wisely, you can transform yourself and evolve greatly, I think. Story 28. Maybe not every person on Earth, but I think every American should drive coast to coast by themselves at least once in their lives. It's a really great way to see the country and really sit with your thoughts and yourself. It's a very introspective kind of empowering experience. Story 29. Having no money, living on a budget. Some of the worst people I've ever met in my life grew up with money and never had to work for a thing. Not surprisingly, it's always the people who were born into money who have the worst takes on healthcare and people in poverty in America. Story 30. Hiking to the top of a hill or mountain, being a bit out of breath, breathing in the fresh air while looking out over a beautiful landscape, preferably with a loved one, eating out and seeing a movie alone, completing a book, apparently reading is on the decline, asking someone out and them saying yes, realizing you are wrong about something and altering your view, admitting it to relevant parties, helping out a neighbor in need, earning an award, creating a piece of art you are proud of, going to a new city and explore. Look in the mirror and what you see making you happy. Story 31. Psychedelics. Back in college, I went from a 17-year-old clown with no direction to a 300-year-old warrior, thanks to a decent-sized dose of mushrooms. Instantly turned my grades around and went full speed ahead into a great career. Really don't think I would have been anywhere near as successful today had it not been for that otherworldly teacher. Whooped my butt into shape real quick. Story 32. I know everyone is going to say love. That happens to almost everybody, so I would say go on vacation by yourself, but be careful of your surroundings and stay in the United States. St. Augustine in Florida is a nice city, and there are plenty of things to see besides the beaches, which are beautiful. When I was 19, I went to the island of Jamaica by myself, and that was in 1972. I wouldn't go back there now, though. Story 33. A movie moment. A brief minute where you realize that in the film of your life, this is what goes in the trailer. That if you died on the spot, you'd know you lived at least once. Just pure bliss, happiness, love, and life. Enough to feel cinematic, like the one moment in time that you would frame if you could. Even if the rest of the night goes sour, in that moment, you still won. Story 34. Working in a busy fast food restaurant. There are so many horror stories of Karens and rich kids out there who have no idea what it's like to work in such an environment because it's beneath them. Working there would teach them that everyone is a fellow human being, not some other inferior species to them, and maybe they'd value other people and their experiences more. Story 35. Magic mushrooms. Truly, I used to think people were crazy, man, but it's not until you try them one time that you realize it all. No, you don't see Jesus fly down from the sky, but you become aware that you're just living life, and nobody knows what life truly is. You're a human, but what the fuck is a human? Only those who know will understand what I mean. All humans should experience it humans have for thousands of years. I truly think it would cause some improvement if more folks opened up their mind. And for reference, me and a buddy bought an 8 of shrooms from a legal dispensary in Washington, D.C., so it wasn't no apartment bought shit. But man, it was my second time doing them ever, and it just makes you fucking realize, dude. Story 36. Working a customer service job, retail of some sort, online customer service or food service or health service. Something where you have to deal with the general public, and you have to do it through at least 1 year of your life. You have to live off the wages, deal with the hours, the customers, the whole thing.